I have recently finished my Anti-Thargoid Anaconda build, and today I'm going to show it to you. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with Down to Earth Astronomy. As I said, we're looking at an anti-xeno Anaconda build. But before we dive into the actual fittings, I just want to add a little note here about who this ship is for, because this is definitely not for everybody. Now, this ship is specifically designed for people who have very little or no experience when it comes to Thargoid hunting. So it's not designed to go out and begin to kill the more difficult Thargoids. This is meant to be a place for people to start and mainly focused around killing Cyclops, which is the easiest variant, maybe looking at Medusas when you get more experience. And I know there's been people killing Cyclops in Sidewinders, and these are obviously very experienced players. This ship is meant to make it as easy as possible for people to get into the whole Thargoid hunting thing and go out and try and get some Cyclops kills and then get started from there. So let's dive into the outfitting. Let's start with the weapons. We can of course fit 4 experimental weapons, and here I have 2 Guardian Gauss cannons. These are hit scan weapons, so that means you have as soon as they fire, they hit instantly, so there's no lead time on these. They do have a little bit of a wind-up time, so you need to hold the trigger before they release. But these are used to snipe the heart. So when the Thargoid takes damage, it will exert a heart, and you then need to shoot that heart off. When you're fighting a Cyclops, you can often 1 or 2 shot the hearts with these 2 Gauss cannons, depending on how well you hit. So these are definitely very, very effective for that. Then we have 2 Guardian shot cannons. These are essentially Guardian frag cannons, fairly short range, but they can do a ton of damage when you're getting close. And these are meant to take down the hull. So you shoot down the hull, it will exert a heart, you then use your Gauss cannons to snipe the heart. I'm going to show you a fight here later on, or at least part of it. So these are our main hull damage for the ship. Then we have 2 remote release flag launchers, and these are used to take down the swarm. So the Thargoid will leave a Thargon swarm that does do quite a significant amount of damage, and you will need these flag launchers to take that down. But again, I'll show all of that later on. And then finally here we have the only weapons that is actually engineered on the ship, which is 2 small gimbaled beam lasers. And these are engineered with long range and thermal vent. Now these are not meant to do damage. We don't use these for damage at all. Long range, we want to be able to use them as far away as possible. Thermal vent, of course, to keep our heat levels down. I used a similar trick on my cucumber build for my Corvette. We're going to use these 2 small hard points basically as our infinite heat sinks, and we're going to use that to try and control the shield cell banks that we do have on the ship. And also we can use them to control the heat levels from the Gauss cannons, which does generate a significant amount of heat. Moving over to utility, fairly straightforward here. We of course have a xeno scanner that's pretty much mandatory, so we can actually scan the ship. Shutdown field neutralizer, when you get to the second to last heart on the ship, it will fire off a shutdown pulse, and you need to neutralize it if you don't want to be a sitting duck for about half a minute. So definitely recommend to bring this. And the rest is just shield boosters, 0A shield boosters. And the name of the game when hunting Thargoids is just hit points, hit points, hit points. Don't worry about resistance, just go for all the hit points you can. So these are all engineered with heavy duty shields and supercapacitor. So let's move over and have a look at the core internals. Now, the ship here is meant to be mainly a shield tanker. We're not planning for our shields to go down during the fight. But there will be some bleed through damage, so you will take some damage on the hull. And therefore we do need to actually worry about our armor. So military grade composites here, which again is modified with heavy duty and deep plating. Again, you get as much hit points out of this as you possibly can. Power plant here, kind of a funny thing. I've gone 5 overcharged power plant, which gives us a little bit too little power, as you can see down here at the bottom. We have 50.4 megawatts of power, but we use 50.59 megawatts. So we slightly over what we actually have in the power plant, but we can solve that later. And then thermal spread, again, to try and keep our heat levels in check. Move on to the thrusters, nothing special here. Dirty drive and drag drives, of course. Frameshift drive, again, nothing surprising here. Increased range and mass management. Light support, again, D-radar light support. We get a little bit lighter. We're not planning for a canopy to be blown out. And again, I've lightweighted this in this case, just to get a little bit more jump range, just for convenience. Again, we're not planning to go and fight bigger stuff, so we're not planning for a canopy to be blown out. For the power distributor, again, nothing really fancy here. Charge enhanced super conduit for faster recharge. Sensors are lightweight as well and D-rated, so we get the light sensors, again, to try and preserve a little bit of our maneuverability and jump range. And then finally, of course, a fuel tank, which is just stock. And now for the optional internals, and this is where it begins to get a little interesting. I fitted a prismatic shield generator. Now again, we want as many hit points as we possibly can, so this is fitted with reinforced and high cap. You can go with a simple A-rated shield generator if you want to. Again, it's going to give you a little bit less hit points. You're going to have a slightly faster recharge. I actually can't remember if the prismatic, I think it's just the regen time from broken regen time on the prismatics that's long. Anyway, I would really recommend to get prismatics. If you haven't, then sign up for power play, wait your 4 weeks, and you should get them. But at least if you don't have them, you can get started with a 7A normal shield generator. For this build, at least, I wouldn't recommend bi-weaves. Then we have two 6B shield cell banks. And the reason why we go B-rated here is because we get an extra charge. You can see here maximum ammo is 5, whereas for the other ones are only 4. That allows us to bring more overall hit points with us. Again, same mentality here. Bring as much hit points as we can. So we've gone specialized and we've got boss shell on these to, again, try and increase the amount of hit points that we actually bring out here. Then I have two Guardian module reinforcement packs. You don't have to go Guardian. They are, I believe, slightly better than the normal ones. But if you don't have access to the Guardian modules, you can't go for normal module reinforcements. And then later on, if you decide you want to invest a little bit more time and effort into it, you can then unlock the Guardian module reinforcement packs and upgrade to those. And the rest of the ship is pretty much just whole reinforcement packs all the way down. And of course, again, heavy-duty deep plating. So that is pretty much the build. And I just quickly want to show you the base stat of the ship here. You can see shield health is 5,500 and our armor health is almost, let's say 7,000. It's close enough, I think. Which is not bad at all. But I said that we needed to do something about our power consumption. And all you really do, because we do not have an inventory. We don't have a single cargo rack. So we have no use for our cargo hatch. You can see if I activate this. You can now see here down in usage that it's now gone red, meaning that we are actually overpowered. We are using more power than we have. So by simply just deactivating our cargo hatch, we now get down to 99% usage, which is just enough to keep the ship flying. And again, since we don't have a cargo hold, we don't really need the cargo hatch anyway. Let's take this thing out and let's hunt some Thargoids. Okay, here we have one. And I'm not going to show you the full fight here, mainly because it's going to take a little bit longer than what's intended for this video, but also because I just want to show you the highlights. Now, I must say before we actually begin the fight that I am not a very good Thargoid combat pilot. So if you're expecting, you've killed hundreds of these out there, well, you might be sitting thinking, why the hell is he doing that? That's simply just because I haven't been doing this for very long. Okay, we got a successful scan. Let's see, we got the heart this time. We did. So I'm going to switch over to my shot cannons. I'm just going to clear the barrel here from the last fight, so that we get a full reload. We're going to come up right behind him and unleash all our cannons here. There we go. First heart is out. But I think he also launched the swarm. He did. So I think we're going to go for the swarm instead, so I can show you how that works. So first we're going to get some distance here. We're going to switch over to the remote release flags. Flight assist off, kill the throttle, and flip the ship around. Wait for the swarm to fly directly towards us. Look at the reticle. And there, when it's red, you fire. You release. So, there you go. So I managed to get just over half of the swarm down there. But basically, when you're pointing at the reticle, you wait for the swarm to come straight towards you. There we go. Heart is out. So we're going to go over here. We're going to target the heart, and we're going to switch over to the... Oh, no, we're not going to switch. We still have the cannons in the same firing group. We're going to manually aim the two lower ones here. Oh, almost took it down. There we go. Heart is down. And we're going to boost away. Okay, so our shields is getting a little low. So we already have our beam lasers out here and ready. So we're just going to get the ship. Here we go. Fire off a shield cell bank and then use the lasers here. Keep him low so we can keep the lasers on him. And you can fire off a second shield cell bank. And again, using the lasers here to keep my heat levels under control. They are rising a little bit. There we go. And then slowly begin to regain a little bit of my shield hit points. And that would really help if I didn't get hit by that. And he is down. There we go. All pips back to shield. Now, again, this is not the cleanest run ever. And I probably messed up on several points during this fight. But again, it just shows that even a pilot who... I think this is actually my third solo kill in this ship. So even a pilot with very little experience can take down Cyclops in this ship very, very comfortably. So, of course, there'll be a build link in the description, so you can go and you can look it up on that. A link for Coriolis. I really hope you liked today's video. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.